I met Hallie in the spring of 2025. She was going through something that I've never seen any other 8-year-old girl go through.
I would describe Hallie as tough as nails, spunky, and outgoing.
Hallie gets a lot of the best qualities from her mom. I knew that if anybody was going to be a fighter, it would be our daughter.
It was a little scary when I first got in, but when I first met the nurses, I was kind of safe with them. I knew this was a good place to make me feel better.
She had been complaining about her stomach hurting on and off for a couple of months.
We just chalked it up to regular flu, cold-like symptoms. It was that time of year. And then right around Easter is when she started having very strong stomach pains.
So that was when we took her to the emergency room. They said, well, good news, we found out the cause of all of her symptoms. Bad news is she needs emergency surgery. The ambulance is already on its way. Went from Missouri Baptist to Children's. Found out that her stomach was really distended. They first put a tube down her nose to kind of deflate her stomach. They found she had a small bowel obstruction. It's called a trichobezoar, which is just a blockage of undigestible matter. So in her case, it was a bunch of hair. She was a hair twirler when she was younger, but nobody, friends, family-wise, really ever saw her eating her hair. Dr. Ye told us, it's a good thing you brought her in when you did, and if this would have gone on for too much longer, it could have been a very different outcome. Her incision eventually got infected, which they had warned us was a possibility. It went from about the bottom of her ribs to the top of her belly button. So they ended up having to put a wound vac on. They would sedate her and do the dressing changes and then have her come back to the room.
She ended up with a very large incision, a lot of pain that she was experiencing. And so I knew that I had to create that path with her for her to feel safe and to be able to open up and kind of feel like a kid again.
I got to have fun with the nurses. They kind of distracted me by not making the hospital seem so scary.
Child life just made all of the difference. She loved Becky.
You cannot say enough good things about child life. I grew up scared of hospitals, and I know my kids don't have to have that.
Being in the hospital, you lose a little bit of your identity. And so for us, we try to help with encouraging normalization, whether that's putting on normal clothes as soon as they feel up to that again, to bring that little piece of their identity back. Also, as a child, you're missing out on play. And so that was a big part with Hallie. With my role was bringing in normalization through play and allowing her to really be a kid again. That wouldn't be possible without these donations.
She had her 9-year checkup and she was cleared and good to go and got her weight back up and she's back to doing everything she loves.
They made me feel better, and that's all I wanted to have.
What it means to me to have Hallie be a Children's Miracle Network patient ambassador, I don't want Hallie thinking of this time as something that she was afraid of sharing or talking about. And if more kids are not afraid of going to a doctor or speaking out when something does come up, then the better treatment they can receive.
I could come back to the hospital and let kids know that, hey, the hospital is not that scary. Even though you think it is, it's not that scary.
To the donors at Children's Miracle Network, thank you. Thank you so much.
My daughter had an amazing experience in a hospital because of people helping support those programs. And when she thinks back to being in the hospital, she has all these fun memories.
Thank you for donating to the Children's Miracle Network, and I really appreciate it.